welcome to my studio. I hope you're good. So I've done quite a lot of looking at how I turn shapes into finished pieces, and you guys seem to like these on shorts. We are going to be doing this on a much larger scale, and I'm going to try and do a full double page spread or a big piece of artwork, not just a character, where obviously we've got a bit more time because shorts are short. Yeah, so the shapes I'm going to start with are going to be painted on paper with paintbrushes, and I'm going to kind of dive into my shelves up here and see what paint I can find and just draw painted shapes. But I'm not allowed to draw kind of any picture yet. It's just going to be the shapes, and then I'm going to interpret them and put them all together, kind of a mismatch collage-y thing. You can see that I thought this through really well. Yeah, and I'm going to make some artwork. I don't know yet if it's going to be a picture book illustration or a fiction book illustration, but I suppose technically where I'm starting with shapes, maybe a picture book, but I haven't decided. I don't know. I'm just going to dive right in and get to painting with my sketchbook. I'm going to need some sketchbooks. I thought we'd go traditional, and paintbrushes. So let's do it. Let's get painting those shapes. I've come to my office to draw some of these painted shapes. So I'm going to raid my shelves and just start drawing some shapes. Let's do it. Let's get painting. Oh, look at me showing you as if it's going to work, and I'm very excited to try it. And then, yeah, there was basically dust, literally dust in this paint tube. It was absolutely hilarious. I couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't even know paint just turned into dust, although I suppose it's made of pigment. I don't know. Anyway, this paint is old. I definitely need to get some more gouache paints, considering it's my favourite, and apparently most of what I have is dried up. Who knows? So here's me drawing and painting a lot of shapes, and even though I'm not thinking of an image, let's face it, it definitely is going to contain a character. So I did want to make sure I had like the base face, yeah, down. So there's some triangles. Yeah, I know there's triangles, but the way I make characters, if you didn't know already because of all my shorts, is kind of like an oval circle thing for the head, a triangle for the body, and then triangles of some sort of shape and size for the body. Oh, look, there you go. Lovely transition. Good old lots of shapes. And then we carry on and keep going on to another piece of paper. I'm thinking that maybe possibly I might have done a bit too many pages of shapes, but I was watching a film and I was enjoying just experimenting and testing out all my old materials that I haven't tried in a long time, or that I didn't actually like back then, which is why they're still intact now and barely used. But either way, it's fun. So apparently I still don't have enough shapes. I'm getting another piece of paper out, but this time I'm showing you, but you can't see anything. It's textured. So it's basically bumpy and it's watercolour paper, and I do absolutely love kind of how it's, okay, hear me out. You can't see it here, but when I've scanned it in and I sort of get the shapes onto my digital screen, it gives this lovely, lovely texture. I know there are a few illustrators, and I would love to try this, who use these papers as backgrounds to work on to try and make their work, well, it does make their work look so organic and beautiful, and it gives it an extra painterly texture. I do really love when digital kind of paintbrushes mimic the normal paintbrushes. I really need to make some more brushes, actually. That's a video for another time, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, lots and lots of triangles and shapes. And yeah, triangles are shape. So now we've got all our painted shapes. Probably got quite a few painted shapes. Let's take these, take photos of them, get them scanned. And for that, I'm actually going to need to steal this camera. So I'll be right back in a second. So yeah, you've got voiceover, Kim, because apparently I put the shapes and everything onto my iPad and just absolutely got cracking and really into the whole feel of moving all these shapes about, because at the end of the day, I figured I have so many that I kind of wanted to use as many as I could. The more is more saying is coming to mind here. But yeah, the idea is that these are trees, I think. I think they can be trees. What was that? Did I try like a yellow one as a hat or something? Hold on, I have to check that. Yes, I did. Well, I'm glad I didn't use that. So now we've got our painted shapes. I really want to kind of keep those nice textures that we created and just kind of combine them digitally and see what we can come up with. So quite a lot of people and illustrators actually use this technique because it means you can just layer up the image and it kind of protects it if you need to do any edits or any changes and move it about, especially with traditional media. There is no undo button, but I'm really looking forward to having an experiment and just enjoying the process. So let's do it, let's get sketching. Now we've got our sketch, let's jump straight into colour because kind of some of the colour's already laid down with all our different shapes. So let's do it, let's get colouring. So now we've got our colouring thing to colour, yeah. Let's just crack on. So yeah, I'm definitely one of those people that own more dressing gowns than I do coats and more slippers than shoes. But yeah, my excuse is that I work at home, so that's fine. And it's technically like my uniform. So what I'm going to do first is kind of do what I normally do and do the character, because the background, I'm going to leave the base of it white. So we just kind of need to fill in and, for lack of a better word, doodle on top. So yeah, let's do it. So it is so important here that even though, yes, I know we're just kind of working on the face, that we work with the colour and with the textures that we've already created. Because yeah, if not, you're kind of working against it. And that's the whole point of having this texture and just being able to keep that painterly texture. That's the whole point of this video. So yeah, we've got to work with it. We don't want to hide it. Because personally, I love the imperfections, but really we're just kind of building up on it to get what we need to do, obviously the bits that are missing and the details. And yes, we are going to add in some textures, but really I kind of want to, you know, touch them quite minimally. Minimum. That word sounds wrong. Quite minimally. Is that a word? It must be a word. And I really want to add in some kind of shading, just so we've got some depth there, really, because I can't not do it. I can't do it. And obviously the whole idea is this, that we do have kind of like more flat shapes to work on top of, but I kind of always knew that I was going to, you know, use artistic license with that and just experiment a bit and have fun. And yeah. Oh my goodness, and I am so aware of how much I turn around the canvas, and I bet it's probably really annoying, but you're just going to have to keep that to yourselves because it's just how I work and I can't stop doing it. Like, I've tried, but I definitely was one of those pieces of paper. I definitely was one of those people that would turn their piece of the paper to work at an angle. So yeah, I still do that now, except now the tablet can stay how it is, but we can turn it round and it's so fun. Now let's do her features. So yeah, we have the main character's face coloured in, and we've used the texture of the, I think it was it gouache I painted with or acrylic? Anyway. So I'm going to finish the rest of this colouring as voiceover Kim, because then I can get all cosy and watch a film. So first things first is just to move and make some adjustment to the shapes that I've already got down, just so I can come along and draw on top of them, really. And as you can see, for some annoying reason, I must have completely forgot to turn my iPad landscape, because this has decided to be portrait. So I do apologise for that, and I do realise at some point, I promise. But yep, it's annoying me. I'm going to say it. But at least you can still see what I'm doing and the process. So anything that kind of doesn't already have the shape there and colour determined, I'm just blocking in roughly with the pencil, kind of like I did on the wellies, but keeping it quite scribbly, just so you can clearly see where I've put in my additions, basically. Because I really, really want you to be able to tell what parts were done with the paint, the traditional, and what was done and added in digitally. So yeah, I want it to work together and not against each other, but sort of keep them separate. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, I promise. So as I was doodling, but just back then, before I turned to voiceover Kim, yeah, I decided that the character is drawing on the extra details, and she's basically being me, I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, she is going to be adding in all the additions. She's getting more creative and adding in kind of lots of colours and patterns, just so that the shapes aren't as flat, because where I want to kind of overlay the two styles, I think this was a nice way and also an obvious way of doing it. So you can see I've digitally drawn over the traditionally created shapes. Wow, that was actually really hard to say. Moving on. So I really want to create the fact that she is drawing these, and that's why I've positioned the character where she is. I mean, the character, what should we call her? Or have we named her? No, I don't think so. Let's call her, hold on, I actually need to see her in order to give her a name. But she's creative, she draws, she uses colour, pencil. I mean, call her Penny? Just because I've just said pencil and I'm thinking crayons and penny crayon. I mean, yes, that shows my age, but that was such a cool show. We'll call her Penny. She makes things, yeah. Awesome. Wait, no, she draws things. Yes, that's the one. And she also adds detail to these trees and in fun ways. So, yeah, I'm going to just trial and error lots of different zigzags, patterns, stripes, dots. And, yeah, I'd love to be able to tell you what all the dots are in the sky, but let's just pretend they're bubbles and magic, and I just like how they look. No idea what they are, but I think they're fun, and she's Penny has added them to the picture, because why not? So by now, I think we've established that Penny is the one that's drawing these and adding in these fun details to the triangles. But what I forgot to mention, which probably, a big part of the whole idea here, is that we're going to call the triangles trees, and it's a forest, and she's kind of decorating the forest. I would say making it more colourful, but actually forests can be so beautiful and all the lovely forget-me-nots on the floor. But anyway, so I'm adding in lots of details, lots of flowers, and then I'm also going to kind of put in all the art supplies that she's going to need to be adding to this picture. Yeah, I'd love to say that I knew where this was going to go at the start, but I didn't. So I'm just going with what I'm working with, and I'm definitely going for the more is more kind of feeling, because why not? It's fun. I don't know if this is a cover or an interior illustration on a book, but I just really do want to show the contrast of the different media and the different ways of creating artwork, because there's no right and wrong way, and it's all fun. And it's just really fun to experiment and use different ways, because one I'm really comfortable with, one I'm not as comfortable with. I mean, to be honest, I used to paint every single thing I did. Everything, like my whole degree. If you saw it now, I've actually got the works of art, which I show in another video. So spoiler, and definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm going to go through my portfolio with you guys. I've not looked at it or kind of revisited it since uni. So it's going to be so fun. And also I can talk about what it took to kind of make the portfolio and what goes into it. If any of you guys want to do illustration in the future, or just if you want to see it, that's fine too. I really want to put in the idea of all the art supplies in there, so that's why I'm putting pencils and crayons, which Penny will be happy with. So yeah, she can use all of these to decorate the triangles, and hopefully something good's going to come out of this. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying watching the process and the behind the scenes. So yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like watching someone that's winging it, has no idea what they're kind of going, but likes to draw and absolutely loves creating art. This is the place for you. And if you've made it this far in the video, Thank you so much. And yeah, there's a lot of shapes and triangles. Thank you so much for watching. It really does show that you can find inspiration anywhere. I mean, recreated this from shapes. So even the even the most basic thing can turn into art, and you really don't have to be an artist to do this. It is just so fun and enjoyable. Comment below your favourite way to make art. There's so many different ways, and I love kind of combining the two. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! That was so much fun painting shapes. I wonder what other kind of simple thing I can turn into a book. Here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a video that I think you'll like. Enjoy!